This is safe, I guess. She's going to be helping me today, guys. So we're looking today, guys, at module 9, lesson 2. We're still working on our open guard concepts. So today what we're going to be doing is some knee drop drills to kind of help on some of our passing. We'll start moving into the double under position, guys, and then we'll finish up with the actual double under pass. Other than that, guys, our feet will be together, our hands will be at our side, we'll bow to each other. All right, and I'm going to warm up with you. Let's go. We're going to do our basic kind of a warm-up, guys. We're going to do some sit-outs. So on these sit-outs, if you've never done this warm-up with us before, there's a couple ways you can start, right? You can start out kind of like a traditional wrestler. I'll turn kind of at an angle so you can see. But if I'm here, if I'm going to go to my left, I post my left leg, I lift my left arm, and I slide out at a 45-degree angle. I come straight back, and then I repeat the same thing to the opposite side. Now, you can start off of your palms if you'd like. Preferably to go off your elbows once you get a little bit better at it. And again, it's just a warm-up, so you can do whichever one you would like. Here, we're going to go to standing up with good posture. So 2 variations that we teach. Very basic one, just like in wrestling, right? I just come up out of my referee's position, so to speak, right? And then the one I would prefer that you do, and I'll turn sideways so you can kind of see it, or excuse me, at an angle so you can see this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to step forward, but I'm going to push back and up just slightly at an angle as I come up, right? Twisting my hips, which creates a wedge and allows me to come through. I'll do it from a slightly different angle this time. So when I'm here, I step forward. My hips currently are facing you guys. They're going to be turning at this angle, which creates the wedge that helps later open and pop open the guard. So I come here and I move out. So it's going to be very simple, just like so. Excellent, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Ava and I are going to sit to our bottoms. This is what we like to call our butterfly guard position, guys. Now, this is a very loose butterfly guard in the sense that since we're not really playing with anybody right now, the things that we want to know right now, I'll turn sideways so you can kind of see 2 angles with Ava and myself. So right now, we're kind of just sitting straight up. Now, you wouldn't really play the game like this, right? You tend to always lean forward, shoulders in front of your hips, right? Right now, it's kind of wide. The more you play this game, you'll vary the distance of your feet, how you play it, right? For today's purposes, for the drill purpose, we're kind of in a very loose butterfly guard here, right here. We're going to take one leg, guys. We're going to tuck that leg in. When we tuck, right, I can use this leg, lifting it slightly, reach out, come all the way up onto my knee. I'm going to sit back, transitioning back into that butterfly guard position. The other leg will come through, and we'll repeat the same motion on the other side. Last little thing that we're going to finish up with today, right, is going to be just our basic back fall. Right, it's one thing to step up in base. The other piece of it too is to clear your distance once you actually have stood back up from an aggressive situation. So if I do get knocked down and I do perform my back fall, right, a couple of ways you can stand up. No threat. Both of my hands go to either side of my knee. I'll turn at a slight angle so you can see. I see one hand here, one hand here, right? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shift the weight to my hands. My bottom comes off the ground. I post, make my connection, hands come up, and I'm going to move back about 2 steps. I'm going to walk right back up. I'm going to sit, squat, do the same thing to the other side. Again, no threat, so I'm not defending. One hand is behind my knee, one hand is in front of my knee, shifting my weight to my hands. That makes my bottom light so I can lift, step behind in a nice wide open base. Hands come up, moving back at least 2. The other variation is the one with our hand up. So I'm kind of thinking about gluing my elbow, or excuse me, to my shoulder. I know my anatomy, sorry guys. So we're right here, right? I'm gonna lift my bottom up. I'm going to extend, right? There's different variations of this one, right? But the variation that we like to work with is the protection, the extension of the leg, then the rocking forward as we come back, and then we move back. So if you did knock me down, right, I go this way, boom, my kicks are what help start to give me distance. So if I sit up here and you're too close, boom. Does that make sense? My goal is to create some discomfort. Sometimes people go, oh yeah, you can pop the knee or you can break the knee. I'm not really looking to actually try to break a knee or hyperextend a knee as much as I'm trying to just get some distance. A kick to the shin, most people's shins are fairly delicate, right? And so when I go here, boom, and I do this, yes, you see? Right, so now imagine a harder kick. That's gonna give you that like hyperextension, very uncomfortable. Move you back, create some space. We'll start by doing our right side first. We'll both be standing up to our right side, and then we'll go to the left side. Guys, we're gonna start with a knee drop drill. So let me show you what that knee drop drill is gonna be. Perfect. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be starting with an open guard. And so what that means is that Ava's body is gonna be roughly right here, right? And so what we're gonna be doing is on this first drill is we're gonna be taking our grips, kind of spider guard gripping right here on the ends of the pants, right? So we're gonna be right here on the ends of the pants. Now for this drill, the bottom person, this is it, that's all they have to do. Top guy, what are you gonna do? It's super simple. As soon as I make my grip, I'm literally gonna move the legs to the side, drop my knee right next to her, and then I'm gonna come right back up. I'm literally gonna go here again and here, right? So all we're gonna do, guys, is we're just gonna do a little sideways push, knee drop, sideways push, knee drop. What are we gonna do now? I'm gonna give you the response now. Earlier I said top guy has nothing to do, or excuse me, bottom guy has nothing to do. Now bottom guy's specifically going to use the hand to block, right? Because I know that Ava's trying to move my hands over, right? And if you notice, there were a couple of times where Ava started to step a little bit just to adjust her distance before she put her knee down. So I want you to watch this, right? What's going to happen now, Ava's going to be right here laying on the ground. So this is very common, and if this happens with you, no worries, right? So a lot of times what happens is you start to go here, but maybe your foot was a little bit too far back. So you start to step before you drop your knee, right? Keep your core nice and tight. A lot of times when I do this, her body starts to turn. If I start to come here, she's gonna use her forearm, not usually her hand, but kind of her forearm to kind of block. Does that make sense? If she blocks now, this has changed everything, right? Because I can't now just drop my knee down, right? So even if I try to go like this, yeah, you see how she's already blocking? She's already getting ready to do this. So now your partner's gonna block. When your partner blocks, that's gonna change the response here. So I'm set right here. I start to move to the side, she blocks. Now, I can't get it anymore, not the one I wanted. So look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my hands, I'm gonna bring Ava's knees to her chest. See, I'm pushing them to her chest, and now I'm just dropping to the other side. So this one's gonna be more realistic to what you would probably actually experience in a real situation, right? The other one, they'd really have to not be paying attention. All right, guys, so again, just kind of getting through these. So the first two drills, right? So the first two drills are really just kind of looking at the easy pass. I go left, I go right, no big deal. Then what I look at is I go left, I go right, but the guy's actually giving me a more realistic response, right? Framing in some sort, blocking in some sort, right? So now what I have to do is I have to go for a totally different situation, right? My knees are open, I'm moving through, I'm starting to make my grips, but when I make my grips, my partner's gonna make their grips too, and usually the grips are some sort of spider guard grip. So let's look at it from this perspective real quick. Ava, I'll have you over here on this side. So watch what's gonna happen here, guys. So we're here, Ava's got her grips. Now, usually when she makes her grips, right, especially if she starts to pressure in towards me, I also have the ability to do this, right? So pushing in is not bad, right? But pushing in, like I said, does give me this. So one of the things that we're gonna do, guys, right off the bat, is as Ava starts to make her grips, is there's gonna be a slight outward pressure on both knees, right? So she's kind of already opening me up. When I start to do that, and in this case right now, it feels better for me on my right side to start to try to put my foot in. This is what I'm gonna start trying to do. Some sort of spider guard kind of movement, right? And so we're gonna look at that next, right? So let's go ahead and switch positions, please, Ava. So Ava's down, right? I'm coming in, I'm starting to make my grips. Does that make sense? Now again, you can make your grips here. Some people like to make their grips a little bit higher for this drill. It doesn't matter, right? But as soon as I go here and I start to do this, look, she can take her grips too. There you go. Now in this case, like I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have, I say, Ava, let me turn you at this angle really quick so I can see better. Perfect. So look what's gonna happen here, guys, right? Right now, Ava's gonna start to bring her foot there. If this happens, I'm in trouble. Does that make sense? So whenever I start to feel her trying to do that, look what I have to do. My hand is diving under, my knee is following, right? So when this happens, guys, look what I'm gonna do. This arm is going down, but look what I'm doing here. I have to push this down. Now look at my outside knee. This is super, super important. Please don't leave your knee on the outside. Here's why. If Ava's stronger than me and pops my arm off, boom, there's a triangle right there. Boom, she's gonna finish me off, right? So I don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to pin this down, but I bring this knee over. Now, even if Ava pulls this arm out, she has no triangle, but I have a connection still here. So that's gonna be super, super important, guys, right? So we're gonna get right to this position, right? So as soon as I get here, this is how I'm gonna finish this position out. I've got Ava's body here. I've got pressure on her leg and on her hip. This leg right now is being pinned to the ground. So watch what I do here. Ava, I'm gonna move your hand momentarily just so they can see. This hand, guys, is gonna release. It's gonna go under, and I'm gonna put my hand flat on the ground, right? As soon as this hand goes under, I create this position now so my knee can follow it, right? So my knee now is on the ground. All I'm gonna do from here now, guys, is I'm gonna make my connection. The hand that's on top, just like if I was hugging her head, that palm is gonna be palm down. This palm is gonna be palm up. Now, right as soon as I get to this position, guys, look what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna lean her forward, walk my knees up and underneath her, and I have this position. Now, again, Ava could still have my grips, her grips on my sleeves. There's options for her here. Today's lesson plan doesn't deal with her options, it deals with our options. So right now we're gonna just get to this position. I've taken my grips, right? I've started to make my positions, right? She starts to come, look, I'm just gonna come here. This has to go here. This hand, this arm is pinning the knee down. Now look at this back knee right now. This is wrong. Don't leave it there. Bring it up. That has to happen. If it's there momentarily, no big deal, but I have to bring this in, right? Now, once that's there, look what I'm doing with this hand when it's connected. I go under. Now I drop my knee. I'm able to come up, walk her up into position, and I have it now. Now, again, in this case, I'm sitting right now on the flats of my feet. Better if you're on the balls of your feet. What that does, that puts more pressure on Ava. She can feel it, right? Especially if I'm really condensing her forward. Currently, guys, if you notice, Ava's hips are on top of my legs and her bottom is literally touching my belly, right? That's super important. I don't want Ava's hips free. If her hips are free and lower on the ground, she's gonna have a lot of good options to finish me off. So guys, so far what we've looked at is we've looked at a dropping of the knee position, right? One to just kind of warm our legs up in the direction that we were going. Second option was more realistic in the sense that I would block Ava. I wouldn't just let her have it, hopefully. You know, hopefully I'm not asleep, I'm paying attention to the match, right? Now we got to the double under position, but it's the finishing of the position, right? And this last thing that I just talked about with Ava is super, super important because a lot of times what happens is people get too loose and so the next piece doesn't work. The next part of this drill is going to be a tight portion. And so I want you to kind of watch this. Don't forget, always, you can go to kayotera.com, guys, subscribe to the online lesson plans, guys, and you can see Professor Kayo doing this specifically, guys, which again, watching him move and of course listening to his explanations are amazing. So let's look at this position. So now I'm going to start from the beginning. We're going to get to the double under position, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do the pass. All right, guys, so everything pretty much is still the same, right? I'm still coming in, I'm still making my separations, she's making her grips, right? I'm not going to wait on her this time, I'm just going to dive in. I've got this, look, my knee, or excuse me, my hand pinned her knee, my leg came in just like so. I'm going to shift my hand underneath, driving my knee forward. Look, I'm walking up, and now I have her tight. See how I'm sitting up like this? This is not what I want you to do, right? We're going to see it more from the side angle, right? I'm going to be lifting up a couple of times just so that you can see me speak. But here's the reality of the matter. I want to be tight on Ava, leaning forward. This is what starts to make it uncomfortable on her body, right? So I'm going to go here. Now, I like to use my right hand, so look what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach, open up her lapel. My far arm is going to grip the lapel nice and tight. But look, guys, I'm closing my elbows tight. Look, I'm keeping them in tight to me. What that does is that creates no gap for Ava to try to wiggle away from me. Does that make sense? I don't want her to be able to do that, right? If I'm too loose, no problem. Yes, perfect. She did it naturally. You see, she was able to put her foot right here. She will just shove me away. There's no way my grip strength is going to be stronger than her entire leg. It's just not going to happen, right? She'd have to be a baby for that to work, right? So I'm going to be right here, nice and tight. Now, this next piece is the important piece, guys, right? And you'll see it from the other angles. This top hand is going to stay in. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to move my left leg to this side. As I'm moving it this way, almost like I'm taking a wrestling shot, this hand over here is going to grip her belt, sometimes the pant. I'm going to move forward. Watch your arm, maybe I don't want to hurt your arm. And I'm coming to this side. Now, right here, guys, hopefully you can see this really well. I'm in a position where I could drive her forward. My back knee is wedging her hips up in the air. But watch what I'm going to do now. I'm literally going to lower myself so that I'm here. Now, I don't want to push her too hard, because if I do push her too hard, she could just go to her knees and go to a turtle. So I don't want to lose this position. So look what I do, guys. I'm going to move my head out of the way, and I'm going to push with my head. So now I'm in side control position. I can release, and I can come underneath her head now and start working. For those of you guys that were able to jump in, thank you so much for jumping in. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, I realize that some of these times that we're hosting these classes may not work for everybody. So if you do have some questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll set up a one-on-one kind of a call, or I should say one-on-one interactive session like this, so that we can help you stay active, stay improving. Thank you. We're going to stand up, guys, really quick. I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see us bow out with you guys. Guys, please, round of applause, virtual round of applause for Miss Ava for helping me today. I appreciate that. Our feet are together, our hands are at the side, guys. Courtesies. Thank you so much, guys.